Hey guys, a few years ago we did a video on how to make all the most popular drinks on a cafe menu. Today I'm going to do a refresher on that so you can learn how to make a magic, a piccolo and a bunch of other drinks that you need to know if you're going to be serving coffees in a cafe. Alright, let's not muck around and we'll get straight into it. Firstly, we'll kick it off with a short black and a piccolo. Now, today we're going to be using our champion blend for all of these coffees. If you want to make some of our delicious coffee in your home, definitely jump online and grab some coffee for home or in your cafe. If you want to serve our coffee in your cafe, definitely reach out to our team. Now straight away I'm using a 70 ml small cup for my short black and I'm using a 90 ml for my piccolo. Now for us and the champion blend, I'm going to do a 22.5 gram dose and that's going to give me 45 grams of yield out. So when I spin this milk for my piccolo, just put a little bit of air in there like I'm doing flat white latte air. On this Lamazocco linear PB, goes pretty quick, so it's only a couple of seconds, but we just want to get a little bit of texture in there. So, easy one. Straight away, that is a short black or an espresso. It's an espresso machine. So everything coming out of here is going to be an espresso, but that will get called a short black or an espresso. Now, while I've got some of this froth, I'm just going to turn this short black into a short mac by just putting a stain of milk on there. I just turned my short black into a short mac, or macchiato, I should say. All right, so with this, I've got my single shot there because you saw that I split. I'm not doing a double ristretto in this piccolo, I'm just doing a single shot to this piccolo. We can still do a beautiful latte art on there, and that is a piccolo. Beautiful. All right, moving on, just to the classic flat white and cappuccino. Now you'll notice that I've got a new little grinder there in our bar. That is the Ferranzato F83. It's a grind by weight grinder. So I did see someone in the comments telling me, why aren't you using dosing pots and scales and the whole bit that we've had before? So we've upgraded to a grind by weight grinder. So we don't have to do that. That's going to get us consistency in our recipe. All right, I have 2 cups here. These are 190 ml. They're a nice bowl shape, and again, for a small, I'm going to split into 2 cups, do my normal extraction, 22.5 in, 45 grams out. Look at that, nice, beautiful, rich champion blend. All right, so I'm doing a flat white. So flat white means I need to just add a little bit of air, just air for a short amount of time. 1, 2. Just a couple of seconds of air, aiming for 65 degrees there. Now this will be my cappuccino milk. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Notice how just adding air for a little bit longer. If you're learning about how to texture milk and spin milk, we've done heaps of content on that. Check out the full channel and all the videos we've done. All right, single extractions in there. So remember how I did just a couple of seconds of air for my flat white? That's going to give me this much thinner milk. Now we do want to still be able to do latte art on our flat whites, but it is supposed to be flat. We don't want it to be ugly. But if someone asks for a flat white, that's what they're asking for. Now this is a cappuccino. Now in Australia, we actually funnily put chocolate on our cappuccinos. Now, do we put it on the top? Do we put it on the shot and pour? I'm going to put it on the shot and pour, just to make it look pretty. So, bit of chocky on there, because look what happens when I pour this. Got a bit of extra texture in this one, so. Oh, look at that. All right. Beautiful. That is my cappuccino. So you'll notice they've both got a single shot in there. Now, if we were to go to a bigger size, we'd be doing a double shot in there. That is actually a 350 ml mug. On these, I would do similar recipes if I was doing a 6 ounce like these dine-ins. Once we go to an 8 ounce takeaway though, with ours we actually like to put what's called a double ristretto in there. So if you want to learn about double ristrettos, there's more videos for that, but in this one, we'll stick to the dine-ins. All right, I'm gonna do a latte and a mocha. So for this mocha, just quickly, don't mind me putting that head down, I'm just gonna put some chocolate in my glass there. That is a 50-50 mix of chocolate powder and boiling water. So again, same extraction, this time splitting into 2 glasses. These glasses are 220 mils. I get asked a lot, what's the difference between all these coffees? What you're seeing is the difference in milk texture. That flat white, the cap, the only real difference in them here is that the texture of the milk is a lot fuller in that cappuccino. The latte is a little bit different though, because it is not 190 mils, it's 220 mils, so you're getting a little bit more milk to coffee ratio. So it will then be a little bit softer. Now, let's go at this, because what I can actually do, my mocha and my latte milk are the same milk. So I'm just gonna split my milk here. Make sure I put in enough texture for 2. I'm just going to split that one in there. So these should be identical with that froth. All right. I'm going to give this mocha a little stir. Mixing that chocolate. Oh, smells good. All right. Do my tricks again. Let's just put a little bit of chocky on this mocha, because check this out. This should be pretty nice on the mocha. Yum. All right, so that was my mocha, much like latte style milk. And this is my latte. Yum. All right. Let's keep going. So pumping these out. All we need is a long black. So I'll show you a long black and a long mac in the same motion. Now for us here in the espresso bar, we like to use 75-degree water. This is already pre-boiled. I'm going to fill it up so I can fit a double shot in this cup. Now, if you're using the boiling water out of the machine, you can do that. You just might find it's really hot. It is going to change the flavor of the coffee if you're dropping that coffee straight on top of boiling water. So some customers want it boiling, you might have to ask them, but I would opt to have that water a little bit cooler. I'm not going to make an Americano, but if I was making an Americano, I would be putting the espresso in the bottom of the cup and then just hitting it with that boiling water on top. But today I'm going to just focus on the main items that get sold in Australian cafes, and you'll see this, which is a double shot going straight on top of that water. Now, I can't pick it up on this machine because of the scales in the drip tray, but I would love to lift that cup up a little bit closer to the spout so that we get that crema floating, but it is doing the job for me. It's sitting on top. Now, I'm going to dob myself in here because in the other video, did you pick it? In the other video, I used to do double ristrettos into these small cups, but the feedback we got from customers was that everyone wants that full double normal in that cup. So we've since really catered to those customers. Even if I was to go to a mug, I'd still do a double shot because lots of people love these long blacks with that full flavor in there as well. Now, I told you I'd turn that into a long macchiato, which means I'm going to need some milk, kind of like cappuccino style froth here. Now, you'll have to tell me in the comments. I've had lots of people say otherwise. I've made coffee in lots of different places, and this is how I've always made it. I've trained this with everyone. I'm sticking by it, is that I'm going to put a stain of milk on this long black. And I'm going to turn that into a long macchiato. Depending on where you're from, you might find that some people will opt for just a double shot with no boiling water and a stain of milk. So macchiato means stain of milk that goes on top of that. Am I wrong? Are you serving your long macchiatos with water? A little bit different everywhere, but I'm sticking to my guns on that one. All right, I've got a couple more for you. This is something we've added to the conversation a lot more lately, and that is the magic. The magic has really evolved from Melbourne. It's definitely a lot more popular in Melbourne. We're going to use the 170ml tulip cup. I'm going to do a double ristretto, extraction, which is that ristretto. It's just going to run the first 22.5 grams of coffee into the cup. It's going to be really rich and dense and sweet. It's not going to be as balanced as that normal, but it's definitely going to really hold that intensity in the coffee. When I steam my milk, I'm really only adding a second of air because I want it to be like flat white milk. It's not supposed to be frothy. Now, some would say this is going to end up looking like a piccolo, but the goal here I think is we're going to go for 2/3 full, not low tide, not 3/4. I actually want 2/3. So, you know what? As a good barista, I don't want to use that milk. It wasn't good enough. I didn't get enough air in there. So I said a second of air, but I got to have something to work with. Can't actually show you what it looks like to pour a dodgy coffee. All right, so now I've got a milk here. It's still thin. The last one was terrible. Still thin. I've got my, I'm going to get some milk out of there, so I've got to really get my nose right in there because I don't want to fill up the cup. That is a lovely magic. That will be sweet, that'll be intense. It's a little bit bigger than a piccolo. It's not quite a cortado. It is something unique, but it's if you haven't tried one before, you definitely should. It's really popular, and I think if you've been drinking double ristretto lattes, it's really just a smaller amount of milk on those double ristrettos. So definitely enjoy that. Now, with these drinks, if mum's coming into the espresso bar, you need to be able to make a good Babyccino. Believe it or not, I actually train Babyccinos a lot more than you would think, because if you can't do them, you're gonna scare off all the mums. So I'm actually using a fair amount of milk. This is gonna be too much milk. Maybe I could use a smaller jug. It'll do the trick. But you still need to use a certain amount of milk because we don't want it to get extra hot. What I want to do is just forget everything we just did with all that beautiful milk. I'm just going to make sure that I blast it from the very start, holding onto the bottom so that I can add lots of air. And as soon as I feel any heat coming through, we want to turn that off. We don't want them to get hot. We're not going to rely on thermometers for these. Now, had I got an order up, I would have done that first so that I can get that real separation between the froth there. This is going to be one of the few times that you're allowed to use a spoon, because I kind of just want a little trick that I do is just to hold back the froth I get that hot milk out so that when I go to do my Babyccino, I've got this nice frothy. You can do something really cool in there if you're very clever. But that's just, if a kid tips that over, it's not going to make a huge mess. Don't put any coffee in it. Don't put any sugar or sweetener in there. And that is the full range of coffees. So there you have it. That is the range of coffees that you need to be able to nail if you're going to work in a cafe. From there, the menu expands into chais and teas and all the cold drinks menu. But if you're going to be working in a cafe, you want to nail these drinks. So definitely go back and watch this video. Definitely hit save on this one. So if you're behind the bar, you can quickly check. But I have done a few other videos on some of the most popular drinks on the menu and how to make them. What would you like to see next? I'm going to do more of these videos where we talk you through how to make all the drinks on the menus. What drinks would you like to see me make? Let me know if there's anything else I've missed or you'd like to see in the next video. So thanks again for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.